Hello everyone, welcome to UFT live training and day 2. I hope you all can see my screen and you can hear me. So what we have talked yesterday on day 1 is about how QTP recognizes objects, okay, and uh, we talked about object repository, okay, and we saw a very simple script team which we use to open URL and uh, then we enter few things in text box. Team, you can hear me fine, right? So who cannot hear me, please check at your end. Okay, all right. So we saw this script and how it can be related to object repository and how we can add the objects in object repository and how we can change the logical names. All right. So these things we have seen. So we'll continue this and uh, today I'll take a sample application team. Uh, Not a sample, a live application, Wells Fargo mortgage calculator. So here what I'll just brief about this uh, application, a small application to calculate the mortgage rate, and it requires it asks for loan purpose, okay, then home value, down payment, loan amount, and credit score, okay. So if anyone give this basic scenario to automate this page, okay, they have written few test cases and they want to automate the basic scenario. So we can write a simple script, okay. We can write a simple script to enter the values, but enter the values we cannot hard code everything, right? So first we'll see with hard code, uh, like earlier we saw in our script, because here those are hard coded values, right? UFT download and all, only we used only one, but when your application requires various data from as a input, then how we can achieve it? So we need to parameterize, right? So this application I thought to will be good to take, okay, and because it requires a lot of data. So while going through this application, we'll see different concepts involved, okay. So let's get started, team. And first what we will do, team, first we'll create another uh, test inside this, okay, and we can name it as demo2, okay. All right, so this time what we have to do, this is, let me close other things. All right, so this is my second project, that is demo 2. Now how I can start with, I don't want to object like in day 1 what we do, what we did is we objectify the element we saw, then we added in the object repository, right? So here I'll actually go to object repository and I'll try to add objects. Okay, so first thing is web list. So here we'll see different kind of objects as well. Okay, and how we handle those objects. Like here we have a drop down list, some text boxes, okay, one button. So this will be a good to practice with how we select from the web list, how we enter text box, how we uh, click button. Okay, so these things that we have seen button and text box, but new control is select. Okay, web list. Let's add this. Okay, and today I'll not change these logical names. Okay, yes, we have seen yesterday how we can change, so I think you are aware of with that concept. Okay, so it's a home value. All right, now I can add this one, down payment. Okay, another way to add in a one go team, let me try to add. Okay, first let's do this way, then we'll see. This is credit score, and then there is a state. Okay, and then there is a country drop down list, and then we have a calculate button. Okay, so we added all these objects in our object repository, and I hope there's no requirement to change the logical names because logical names are already well means explanatory. So now we have these objects in my object repository, and we can see here some values. So team, one more thing I wanted to tell as a concept here is there are on any object on the right hand side you see this add description properties. You can delete any properties. Okay, so if I click this plus sign team, here you see all the properties related to this object. Okay, and if you want to define new property, you can define this way. All right, and we can do various things, but as we progress we'll see these concepts. So team, what I wanted to tell here is QTP uses some mandatory properties, okay, to recognize any object. Okay, and there are some assistive properties. If that UFT is not able to find out any object with given mandatory properties, it uses assistive properties as well. So we'll see in coming sessions these concepts, but before that, so here what I'll do is application under test is I'll just take this URL. Okay, then I'll write a few manual steps team. Okay, how we manually write test case, and then we'll automate that process. So first what we have to do is we have to select loan purpose. First open iBrowser and navigate to URL. Okay, then what we have to do, we have to select loan purpose. If your manual test cases test steps are not clear, team, then you cannot write the exact automation steps. Okay, a script. So first thing, it is make sure that you understand the application correctly, and then you go for the automation. Now enter home value. What else we have? Enter down payment. So whatever things we have to enter, we'll write those things. What else we require? We select credit score. Then select state, select country, and then click calculate button. Alright, so this is the manual step. uh, one test case, we want to verify the positive scenario of this application, of this functionality, right? Alright, so we already added objects in our object repository. So let's start writing how we can do this. So browser, it's a mortgage calculator. Okay, dot page. Okay, then team, sorry, I guess before that, team, anyway, tell me what I missed. Team, anyone who can tell me what I missed? I missed to open browser. Okay, and what is the application name? That Internet Explorer exe name is iexplore.exe. Okay, and I'll copy this URL. Okay, yeah, thank you. Some people pointed out what I missed. So that is, we need to first open browser. Okay, because when you run this script, it will look for the browser where it will perform whatever the steps you wrote. Alright, so like yesterday, we have added objects in object repository. Okay, so no need to, I don't think it is needed to explain these again. We'll see. Now there is a different control, and what is the control? That is a web list. Okay, so in UFT, any drop down where you select values, that is web list, and web list has its own properties. We'll see how different things we can do at a object level like web list. Okay, first thing, if you observe here, is we added 4 uh, web list controls objects in our object repository. Earlier you have seen, if there is only one object for the browser, UFT automatically adds for me, even for the page. But wherever the same kind of object, not the same object, same kind of object exists, you'll get this kind of list, okay, if it is in object repository. So country is a drop down list, credit score is a drop down list, loan purpose is drop down list. Now you can choose from these, okay. So I want to select loan purpose, okay, and then there are different methods available for any object. So for the web list we have this much method it supports, and to select any value team, okay, you have to use this. And there are different ways to select. So let me choose this. um, I'll say home equity, okay, or okay, it depends on. So let me choose only purpose purchase, okay. So if you see team, this is your how many in this list, how many options are there? 1, 2, 3. So either you can select by index, okay. So index start with 0, purchase will be at 0 index, refinance will be at 1 index, home equity will be at second index. Or you can use name of these options in select in this drop down list. So you can choose what option you want to select and you can utilize. So first let me use this, okay, and it is purchase, okay. Let me after this we have text boxes. So let me copy this till here. It will, we can do quickly. After this we have a web edit, we have home value, right, set, and if I say 1 lakh, right, okay. Now down payment we have to enter dot web edit. So meanwhile team, if you have any question you can just put in chat and we'll take after this. Set. Now suppose we want to do 50,000 down payment, okay, and then we have to let me copy till here, okay, and what I want to select, credit score, select. Let me see what are the options, okay. So I need to now here we'll see index wise, okay. Let me use index. So what I can do is I can use this way, okay, and then what we have to select, we have to, I guess it is state. So let's select state, and here we can give name. What is the state name? Any state name we can take, like DC, okay. And then we have to select country, right, Okay, and in country what we have option, let's check all those options what we have. So if I choose DC, it is let me choose. I cannot see that option clearly. Can anybody tell me about the state? Okay, so let me use this. Okay, Adams. All right, so I'll choose IA, and here what I'll choose Adams. Okay. Okay, so now the final thing, we have to click on calculate button, and that is web button, and we have calculate dot click. Okay, so these manual step we converted into UFT line of codes. Okay, so let me execute this and let's see if what happens, and then we'll see some verifications. Okay, if I run this team, so it opened this application. Some there is no error in the script, so that's why it is saying it is passed. Each and every step you see here passed, right? It was able to enter, it was not able to select this thing. Okay, I hope let me use shall I use this way? Okay, let me here also use the same value, means whatever the we see in the list. So let me use this good. Okay, and team, if you want to see what are the options available, okay, with that just click here, and here you see one property in terms of uh, uh, drop down list. Okay, so this property all items, this will have each and every options available in that object. So this will be very helpful, and you also see there will be count. Okay, which will, so items count, so there are 5 items in that. These are very few important, uh, if you are going for the any interview, this kind of question people ask. Okay, interviewer will ask about, suppose a select object, a drop down object has some values, how you will count, or I want all the uh, options. Okay, so uh, that is a different story. We'll take up these things, but let me check, and I'll copy this option. Okay, from here, let me close this. Okay, so this option I want to select. Let me close this browser and let me run it again. So if you observe team, anytime if we create uh, Okay, it is able to run. Okay, perfect. So till now we have seen how we can enter values, we can click button. Okay, but what is the benefit if we are not verifying values, right? So before moving further, let me check. Yeah, that's correct. We can use index. I think I gave in double quotes, that's why. Okay. All right. So first thing, I need to verify uh, there are some few important concepts of checkpoints in UFT. Okay, those we will discuss, but currently we'll see how we can, without using any inbuilt checkpoints of UFT. Checkpoints means team. There are various checkpoints UFT provides, and to verify few things, like I want to verify this text is appearing when we click calculate button or not, purchase rate and payment results. Okay, then there will be uh, other checkpoints. We'll discuss in detail about checkpoints, but today let's see how we can do this using uh, VB script. Okay, so I was telling about when you run any script, okay, through UFT, UFT always creates a folder. So let me go to this. So see team here, it created this folder, right? Demo2, when we created new test, and inside that, so you'll always see when you run, it saves this value. Okay, but do we really need this? If we need, then we can use. Otherwise, I'll tell you a technique how you can avoid saving. We can save at a temporary location. Okay, not in this script folder. All right, so I have to also explain what uh, these folder means here, and what is the significance of all those when you create a uh, project, what kind of folders creates, where it stores different objects, different whatever you wrote a script. So all those things we'll see, but not today. Okay, all right, so what I was saying is, once we click on calculate button, we navigate to this. Okay, we navigate to this web page, and I want to verify that we are on the correct page or not. Okay, so what I can do, I can add object in my object repository. Okay, and if I click here, okay, so now you see it's a different page team. Okay, and I should rename this. Okay, so what the text name we can give here, uh, results I can say. Okay, so let me say it as results. Okay, so I want to verify this element is appearing on the web page or not. Okay, So how we can do this? Let me write verify text to confirm we are on the right page. Okay, so how we can do this, team? If, okay, browser dot page. Now you see there are two pages. Earlier one was where we entering values, and the second one was is where we navigated after clicking calculate. Okay, so add this page, and then we have web element, right? And we have results dot exist. What this exist tell us, what it does, we all know that this if else conditions always work with boolean conditions like true or false. Okay, we are not using any uh, verification on the uh, text wise, whatever the text appears, but we want to check if this element, whatever we have added in our object repository, that exists or not. So this is best coding practice, team. When you do something, make sure that the element or that object exists on the web page before you enter anything or you do anything on that page. So let me explain a few points about this exist. If it will return true if this object will appear on the page, it will return false if UFT cannot find object. We can use this with uh, we can give with time, okay, time in seconds, time in millisecond, but we'll not see that. Just focus on this exist. What it does is it if element exists, then proceed further, otherwise it will uh, we can write else condition like we are not able to find. Okay, but here what we'll see, uh, let me if this exists, so what I can do or print pass. Okay, else print fail. Okay, I should give in. So there are two ways, team. Print help you to print anything. UFT provides of this keyword print, which you can use to, if you want to print anything, there is a console. After execution, it will show you on that console. There are also option if you want to use in place of this, if you want to any message box, so this message box will pop up, okay, and it will show me that in a pop-up message box it will show me the it is passed or failed. Okay, so both things we can use, but I want to use print. All right, so before moving to this, let me also explain what I said earlier in the beginning of this session, right? I don't want to use this hard-coded values, okay, whatever we have used here. So let me do one thing. So this is the beginning of parameterization of your code. Okay, so if I say uh, so team, in VB script uh, there is nothing kind of like data types. Okay, whatever the value you assign, that becomes that kind of uh, variable. Like in other languages, like you declare int variable, you declare string variable, float, double, those kind of things you have seen. But here, whatever type of value you assign, that becomes that kind of variable. Okay, we'll talk about in detail about this, but here let's see. So what we are if what we are going to enter or select values on this application, those things first I don't want to use here, okay, directly. So I will save these things in my variable, and using those variable I can select or set any values on the application. Okay, so here if I say loan purpose, okay, and what I say purchase, okay, and then home value, and here I say 1 lakh, okay, and then if I say down payment 50,000, okay, and then we have to select credit score, right? So whatever value you want to provide here, team, you can put here. So let me make it in double quotes. uh, then state, I'm using same name, team, variable name, but you can use any names, okay, it doesn't matter. So I want to select I as a state, country Adams, okay. All right, now if I have used some variables which holds my inputs, whatever I want to input on the application, so then I don't need here these hard-coded values. We are using hard-coded, but I don't want from here, okay. Yes, I added, right, country. Any question on this? Okay, okay, it's county, it's not country. Okay, thanks, thank you for the uh, pointing it out. Okay, now I can delete all these values, team. Okay, whatever the values we have given, we can delete from here, and let's use this, the variable names whatever we have used to store the values. Okay, so I can use this loan purpose, then we have given home value, okay, and then we have down payment, and here we have credit score, okay, then we have state, and then we have county. Okay, why we did this? You may ask this question, why we did this? Currently we are hard coding values here also, whatever the variables we created, but I just wanted to show you how we can store some values in a variable, and those values you can use in your script. Okay, so let me run this. Before that, make sure that your browser is closed. Okay, it opens this browser. So see, there will be no difference if we are giving values in the same line of code, or we are using those values whatever we want to enter in variable, and then we are we are just giving those variable names, and we are able to see this. Okay, so but I did one thing, right? What I did, team, I did one thing, and see, it says results exist. Okay, it but where is the print thing? Okay, I use this. Okay, let me use message box, but this also works. I not sure why it is not coming, but we'll see. So let me run it again and we'll see. So what it does, if that find that object on that particular page, it will pop up one message that says pass. Okay, see, we got this message passed. So it means this condition is true. Whatever we want to check that object exists or not, that condition is true. It means that object is there on that page and our test is passed. Our verification is passed. Okay. Questions, team? Questions on this? Okay, I was explaining one concept, why we require to store in some values all these things. If you see the application, it requires lot of data, right? So if you have to test this application, okay, you need to enter different kind of values. So this kind of application requires different data sets, and to use this concept, we need to parameterize our test. So we started our first step of parameterizing our test. Okay, we created one variable, we gave those values whatever you want to enter, and we are using those variables in our where we want to enter anything or select anything. But going forward, if I require 10 values of each, okay, or suppose a functional QA has written 5 test cases to validate this page, then I need 5 different values for that to validate this application, right? So what I can do, I can store these values in a Excel. I can read that from the Excel, and I can run for 5 times for the different values. Okay, so do you see why parameterizing of your test will help you to validate with different data sets? Okay, so in coming sessions we'll see how we can parameterize using Excel, how we can parameterize our test using Excel, and we'll read input from Excel. We'll give we'll assign those values here where we want to use. So this way you will learn how to parameterize test. Okay, or there is a very useful uh, thing in QTP UFT, that is data table. Okay, so let me see. So data table, what it does, team. Okay, uh, it is a similar kind of it is similar format in the spreadsheet, but it is available with your UFT, where from where you can parameterize your test as well. So if you don't want to use Excel or any other file, you can directly use that inbuilt spreadsheet that is called data table, and you can parameterize your test. So parameterization is very important topic, and we'll take it we'll cover in the next class. Okay, so today we saw how we can create variable, we can assign to the particular line of code, how we can use if else. Okay, so team, side by side we'll see the concepts of VBScript as well. So how we write code, if else and all those things. So by going through the scripts we will learn VBScript as well. Okay, all right team, so questions. Team, any questions do you have? So we have another 5 minutes. Okay, and we can take up those questions. Okay, so one question is, what is the main difference between QTP and UFT? So see, both are same tool. There is only the name they have changed. Okay, version they have changed, and they, because of various regions, because they included a lot of features, they gave it as a UFT. Okay, and it's not UTP, it's a UFT. Okay, so because of various regions they changed this name because they added many features into it. So before uh, 11.5 or 11, it was QTP. Okay, QTP 9, QTP 10, QTP 11, and onwards they changed this name to UFT. So now it became UFT 12, 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5. So it is, they are the same tool, but QTP was the older name. Now it is only UFT. Okay, so Khadija, if you're trying to download, if you're facing any issue, so let me know. Object repository. So Radhika, any particular question on this object repository? If you do if you haven't received any email, just check your junk mail or something. Sometimes it goes also there, so you can just check. Coding is necessary in UFT? It's not QFT. It's a QTP or UFT. Okay. So for any automation tool, uh, little bit knowledge, not little bit. If you want to be an automation engineer, and if you are worrying about the coding part, so then do not go to this area in automation, because automation means you have to write code, because record and replay will help you. You don't need any knowledge or coding knowledge. Record and replay will help you. Like tool like UFT or QTP or other tools also provide record and replay. But the nowadays it became applications are becoming so complex and you have to handle various things. Your record and replay will not help. Okay, so if you're not from the coding background, don't worry, start from the basic, learn step by step, and you'll be able to good in to code. Okay. Okay, so if you haven't received any email, what I can say is try with any other email. Okay, or you can just email them back. Yeah, that's correct. Why do we get action 1 under demo 2? Is it because of the flow chart you saw in which we have action? So this is a very interesting topic. We'll see about these actions. Okay, actions means what by default action one will be added whenever you create your test. And these actions, actually we can divide our application functionality flow in actions. Like you log in, you do something, then you log out. So there are 3 steps, right? I can create a 3 actions. In action 1 I can go only for login in the application, and then on the home page I'll do something that I can take it in a action 2. In action 3 I can just do logout. So in coming sessions we'll see these actions and functions. So the very interesting topic is team. In interview you'll be asked what is the difference between action and functions. Action is something which is inbuilt by which is already available in your UFT, and functions you write. Okay, and there are various differences and similarities are there, but we'll see not in this class. In coming sessions we'll see how we can handle same thing through functions, same through actions. Okay. Another question is C# and VBScript same? No, they are not same. C# is a object oriented language. Okay, OOPS, based on OOPS concept. VB is not a based on OOPS concept. How many types of object repository are available in UFT? So there are 2 kind of object repository available in UFT. One is local object repository and second one is shared object repository. Currently we are using local object repository, and I will also explain how we can use shared object repositories. Okay. I see nowadays a lot of job opportunity in Selenium WebDriver and not about UFT. That is correct. That is correct. But the question is, when Selenium WebDriver came in picture around after 2005-2006, it was picking up the market. Okay, and then because of Selenium provides a lot of features in it. Okay, it was it supports different uh, languages, different platforms. uh, okay, but with QTP the problem was it was only supporting that time only VB script and Internet Explorer. But nowadays application are there are many popular browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Application organizations going for these browsers, they support on these browsers. So that's why because of these various regions, QTP graph, job graph was coming down. But when they launch this UFT, okay, with whatever the features I explained, including those features, after I guess 11.5 and 12, UFT is again picking the market, okay, because they have put a lot of efforts to provide various features in it, and that's why it's still it is the uh, second top functional testing tool in the current market. Okay, so yes, Selenium is popular nowadays, but it's still the second, if you ask, that is UFT, and it's picking the market now. What is good VM to install UFT? You can download any VMware or VirtualBox. Okay, so that will be any tool you can use for this, either VMware or Oracle VirtualBox, and that will be fine. So that's it for today, team. If any other question do you have, let me know. So these two demo sessions were free, and we'll have paid sessions from the next week. Okay, so only members who are part of JPact or paid members, they can only join, and people who are not premium members, they cannot join upcoming classes. So if you want to join, please contact at learn@itlearn.com. Okay, so thank you everyone, thank you for joining. I don't see any other question right now. Bye everyone, bye for now.